You are now watching the Ball N Beatz Podcast.
Hello, and welcome all to the first ever video episode of the Ball N Beatz Podcast. Before we get into the show, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all new videos. New episodes will drop every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. We would like to thank everyone who is making this possible for us. First, we would like to thank the University of Toledo, the Communication Department, for allowing us to use their studio to make this possible. We would also like to thank everyone behind the scenes for making our show run smoothly. To Vince, our graphics guy, to Christian, our editor and social media guru, to 2K Dilly on the panel here with our audio, to Trip and Noah on cameras, to Aaron in the control room, and last but certainly not least, Kevin for making sure our operation is smooth. We cannot thank all of you enough for helping out the BNB cause. To start off this episode today, let's get into our Super Bowl 58 recap, boys. And you know, since we're starting off this episode here today talking about Super Bowl 58, let's kick it over to our music man, 2K Dilly. I want to get your takes on how that game went today.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say that game went actually unexpected. Unexpected. I wasn't expecting for the Chiefs to actually win in overtime. Yeah. It was more of the fact that I was cheering on for Brock Purdy, even though I said that the Chiefs were going to win last episode. Yeah. I was just like, well, they actually really did it. And I was surprised that 49ers wanted the ball. Yeah. Like that was the most shocking factor
Talking about
of the
overtime
game.
There?
Yeah.
Overtime?
Yeah.
That game was, let's just say this, to start off that game, that was a boring game. First half.
Yeah, it really was.
First half, it was a complete defensive battle. You saw the Kansas City Chiefs, what they did, running a lot of screen plays. San Francisco's defense stopped it all game. Then, with Kansas City, they couldn't do anything on offense, really, first 2.5 quarters. And then it opened up late third into the fourth quarter, and it turned out to be a really, really entertaining game. And, of course, Kansas City, they get their Super Bowl again, third time with Patrick Mahomes as the quarterback. And in 6 years.
That's
years for Patrick Mahomes.
The thing is, I wasn't really surprised because we talk about it all the time about this Kansas City Chiefs team, and they always make the comparison of like the first 7 seasons of Patrick Mahomes and versus Tom Brady, nearly identical, and it's getting harder and harder to not go into that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he's just that good. It's really hard to bet against him.
He's been that good, and when you really look at his stats, he's actually been statistically better than Brady has in his first 6 or 7 seasons. And I have a question to everyone here on the panel. Is he already in the GOAT conversation?
Oh, 100%. The fact that Patrick Mahomes in 6 years has been the AFC title game 6 times, he's basically turned this Chiefs franchise around on a dime. This Chiefs offense is not that good in my opinion. It's literally Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. You can throw Isaiah Pacheco in there, but really, other than those guys, they don't have a lot of weapons. It's a bunch of rookies, and you got Kadarius Toney who didn't even play in the Super Bowl.
Right.
And that gave the Niners an upper hand, and the Chiefs still won the game. And that's what surprised me the most is Patrick Mahomes, the fact that what he can do, he's the most accurate passer in the NFL. He can kill you when the pocket is crushing on him. And he seems like he can make any throw and make any play in the National Football League. He is the best quarterback, and it's when it's all said and done, I think he will be better than Brady. I don't know if he gets the 7 rings, but I think in terms of talent, I think he will be the better player, and he will be the guy that everyone looks at, okay, this guy is going to be better than Brady. And Mahomes has proven that. He took this Chiefs team back-to-back Super Bowl wins since 03-04 with Tom Brady in New England. And this Chiefs dynasty, we talked about in our last episode, the dynasty is officially on. Oh, yeah. This is officially a dynasty now. It went from Patriots and Tom Brady to Patrick Mahomes and now the Kansas City Chiefs. This team is going to be very good for a very long time. And even though they didn't have the greatest offense, they still won the Super Bowl. They were 11-6. I saw them lose to the Raiders on Christmas. It was not pretty. They lost to an interim head coach, a Raiders team who was starting Aiden O'Connell at home. And they went on to win every single game since then. And that's a testament to Andy Reid. That's a testament to Steve Spagnuolo, who really, sharpened his defense up with L'Jarius Sneed, with McDuffie. I mean, this offense and defense just worked hand in hand. And I think the defense, in my opinion, was better than the offense. Problem was, the offense had Michael Jordan on its team, and nobody can stop prime Michael Jordan.
Right.
I mean, I just have to agree with everything you literally took the words out of my mouth. There's not much you can really argue at this point. I mean, again, the offense was so bad you would think that they would have had a down year. And now, next thing you know, they're winning a Super Bowl with, and I hate to say it, but like you said, it's like Rice, Pacheco, and Mahomes. Yeah. Because Kelsey had a down
Rice
year.
is a rookie, too.
And Kelsey had a down year, too.
Yeah, Kelsey didn't have a very good year, and you could talk about what you want with the Taylor Swift whole thing. We've talked about that,
multiple times.
Yeah, and we don't want to get into it again. But the fact that this Kansas City Chiefs team won the Super Bowl, I wouldn't have believed you if you told me after December. I didn't believe in this Chiefs team. I believed a whole lot in the Baltimore Ravens, just like everybody else. I believed in the Bills. I think the Bills really started catching on. And the Bills and the Chiefs were kind of similar teams. They both were, at the middle part of the year, they were kind of average. They had a few losses in there. For the Bills, it was the overtime loss at Philadelphia. And then for the Chiefs, it was the loss at home on Christmas. And they went on to win every single game until they met in the divisional round. And that, to me, was the deciding factor. I would have picked Buffalo to beat Baltimore, and I would have picked Kansas City to beat the Ravens. Because both those teams had a ton of momentum. Both those teams just were on a tear. And congrats to the Chiefs. Their dynasty started. I mean, Andy Reid got his third ring. He didn't win any in Philadelphia. He went to the championship game, and everyone thought of him as a choker. And now we may have a new choker because Kyle Shanahan,
we'll talk about
we'll get
another time, he has blown another double-digit lead.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into Kyle Shanahan in a little bit. David, what's your thoughts?
Who really is the GOAT? That's my question. Because if you're putting him up against Tom Brady, I think he has to win just a couple more to get into that conversation. I mean, he's still pretty young, so we'll see about 10 more years, I'd say. I'm not gonna give it to him at that point because I still don't even give it. I'm not even gonna give it to LeBron.
Right.
I don't think he's the GOAT, but I don't think Patrick is either.
Is he top two?
Is he top?
Is he
LeBron?
Right? No, not LeBron. Oh. We all know LeBron is at least top three. Everyone can argue that, but I'm talking about Mahomes being number 2 at least. Is he right behind Brady currently right now? Because I think he is.
I would say so. Yeah, I just wouldn't put him number 1.
Okay.
No, I
argument.
completely agree with that. I wouldn't either right now. Yeah. I think he still has to prove himself. But if he retired right now, he'd be a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even only 6 years in the league, he'd be a Hall of Famer for what he has accoladed in this league for so little time, only being in it for 6 years, for 100%.
Yeah, for sure. For me, I would have to say he has to be in the GOAT conversation. Yeah. It is the greatest 6-year start to a career in the history of the NFL. We have never seen a guy in his first 6 years go to the AFC Championship game every single season and play in a Super Bowl already four times. Only lost one, and it was to Tom Brady, who is the GOAT still, with 7 rings.
Which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, it is crazy. Do I think that Mahomes can pass Brady? I do. Mm-hmm. With the start that he's had this first 6 seasons, why don't I think he can continue it? And, Tom Brady has passed that torch.
Yes.
We thought, after Tom Brady would retire, we thought that, maybe the AFC is going to be more wide open. You had the years with Tom Brady where you had the occasional Joe Flacco in Baltimore or Peyton Manning in Indianapolis or Denver. But other than that, even you could also say Ben Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh. But other than that, I mean, it was all Tom Brady.
Yeah. No,
now seems to be all Mahomes.
I completely agree. And I saw a report on X that Tom Brady, after I think it was the 2019 AFC Championship game, when it was Patriots-Chiefs, the Patriots won the game in Arrowhead in overtime. I saw a report Tom Brady went into the locker room after the game and told Mahomes, "I'm passing the torch to you."
Yeah.
And I completely agree with it, because we all knew he was talented. We all knew the Chiefs were a very talented team. They just couldn't get over the hump. They're kind of like the Bills. The Bills just can't win a game currently. The Chiefs got over that, especially with Andy Reid, who was known as not winning the big game.
Right.
And I completely agree with you guys. I think Mahomes at the end of the day, no, he's not number 1 right now. He's still got a long time to go before that. especially to catch up to Brady. But I think Mahomes, I don't know if he'll get to 7. He'll get close. He's got at least a few more Super Bowls left in him because that Chiefs team, like we said, the dynasty started, and it's not going to stop because they're only going to get better. This was the year to beat the Chiefs, and they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It is crazy. And, yeah, like you said, I just don't see things changing in the AFC anytime soon.
Nope.
For sure. Kind of want to pivot onto the losers, San Francisco. And, I mean, what a defensive game that was for them. Yep. I mean, they had a great game. And, Brock Purdy, early on in that game, people can say what they want about Brock Purdy being a game manager, I believe game manager isn't necessarily that bad of a term,
It's not.
And
you can win with a game manager.
I mean, we've seen San Francisco. They were winning all year with him.
Right. And I think he's a better version of Jimmy G. I want to get your guys' opinions on what his play was in this game.
Brock Purdy?
On Brock Purdy's, yeah.
Okay. I didn't think it was too bad for what type of quarterback he is. I mean, he's a system quarterback, so there really wasn't much to say bad about. I mean, his first half was okay. His second half was, it dropped.
He was efficient. I think that's the word I take from him. He did the job done. He reminds me of a younger Jimmy Garoppolo, except I think Brock Purdy is a little more athletic than Jimmy Garoppolo, and I think he's better at throwing the ball than Jimmy Garoppolo. My problem isn't the quarterback. I think the thing with Brock Purdy is, yes, we all know him as Mr. Irrelevant. Brock Purdy is San Francisco's quarterback for the future, in my opinion, because he's done nothing but win with them. He reminds me a lot of, in college, J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy may not be the most, stat-driven guy. He may not be the flashy guy. All he does is win. And that's all Brock Purdy has done so far in this league is win with San Francisco. You can say he's got a great system around him. I don't agree with that because you can't just throw any quarterback there and win.
Are you sure about that? With those weapons, are you sure you can't just throw a quarterback in there?
I do, yeah. Because Jimmy Garoppolo struggled with the 49ers after they made the Super Bowl. They went 10-7 one year. They made the NFC Championship but lost to the Rams. And they never got over the hump because with Jimmy G, you knew what you were getting. With Brock Purdy, I think you can expect more with the San Francisco offense. Sure, it's mostly McCaffrey. McCaffrey's the MVP in my opinion. I don't think it was Lamar Jackson. He brought the Niners there. And along with Deebo Samuel. I think Deebo's a huge part of that offense. But Brock Purdy is one of the best. He's not one of the best quarterbacks, I shouldn't say, but he is a very good NFL quarterback. And I think he is good for San Francisco. It's a good system fit. He has proven that he can thrive in their system. And, Kyle Shanahan will always have good offenses. He just will never make the decisions when it's, time crunch.
Well, I mean, we saw the coin toss decision for overtime.
And that's what I think should break into our next segment of it is, what are you thinking? How do you not know your plan for overtime?
Did you guys see that audio clip of how the Chiefs were surprised that they took the ball? That the 49ers won the ball?
Mahomes looked at him like, dude, are you crazy? Like, what are you doing? That's the thing. Like,
I think we were all thinking that.
I'm like, why? I mean, why give the ball to the best quarterback in the league, one of the best quarterbacks of all time, with a chance to win the game? It doesn't matter. Even if San Francisco gets the ball second, I mean, you still got to go against that Chiefs defense. But Patrick Mahomes was going to score a touchdown. You knew that. Why kick the field goal at the end? You knew he was going to score.
Okay. Real quickly, I want to get in this question. You guys know how I feel about Kyle Shanahan. I've said it a few times on our show about how I feel. Do you guys think he's overrated? Because this man has been a part of 3 Super Bowls as either head coach or offensive coordinator where he has had double-digit leads and has lost all of them.
Yes.
And, yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but yeah, I would say that. I think he is overrated because this isn't the first time he's been in this position. The problem is, these teams are really, really good teams. These 49 teams, they should be leaving with rings, but they're not. And you can blame the players, but it falls on the coach too. And we saw that evident earlier with the firings that they just did. And at this time, you have to be like, okay, when is it a Kyle Shanahan problem? And I think it is becoming a problem. So I would call him overrated.
Yeah, I'm not going to blame the first Super Bowl loss, the Atlanta one, on him. I'm going to blame that on Dan Quinn. I'm also going to blame that on the defense for giving up a 28-3 lead, giving up 2 2-point conversions, and giving up multiple touchdowns and field goals to end the game. Yes, he didn't have a great offensive game plan in the second half, but you guys all remember the Julio Jones catch. You guys all remember that if Atlanta would have won that game, that would be on billboards everywhere in Atlanta today. And his team was elite in Atlanta. That offense was elite. I think Kyle Shanahan is an elite coach. I do think he's one of the best coaches in the league. I don't think he's overrated because he wins wherever he's at. He won in Atlanta. He's won in San Francisco. I know. He hasn't won a Super Bowl. We talked the same thing about Andy Reid. Andy Reid has been to Super Bowls when he was in Philadelphia. He went to multiple NFC Conference Championship games and lost every single one of them. And that's kind of like how Kyle Shanahan to me. I think he's a younger Andy Reid.
Do you think he needs a Super Bowl then?
I think he needs to win one, yes. He has to with San Francisco because this team is, bowstring with talent. I mean, they have talent at every single position. And I think he will. I think San Francisco will get there, especially with Brock Purdy. I think that offense is going to thrive. But if they don't re-sign Debo or Brandon Ayuk, I think that's going to be a huge problem because that is one of their major weapons on this team. But in terms of Kyle Shanahan, no, I think he's an elite coach. Yes, he has choked away some games. The 2019 Super Bowl against the Chiefs. You can blame a little bit of that on the defense. I mean, there was plays. I mean, we all remember the 55-yard, pass from Mahomes to Tyreek Hill, where it was just a blip in the defense. You can blame that a little bit. But Kyle Shanahan, yes, he's blown leads. 10-point leads aren't as big as you think they are in the Super Bowl, and especially when you're going up against Michael Jordan in the Super Bowl, no lead is safe.
That's correct. No lead is safe. But that's going to wrap up our Super Bowl 58 talk. That's a wrap on our football talk. But when we do come back, 2K Dilly, he's going to lead us off with our music talk. And we're going to have Christian joining us as well for entertainment. All that and more here at the Ball N Beatz Podcast. We'll be back. We'd like to thank Toledo star basketball player Raheem Moss for being a brand ambassador for the Ball N Beatz Podcast. You can go to ballandbeatshop.com and use Raheem's custom discount code MOSS0 $$ for 15% off with a minimum purchase of $25. Once again, that's MOSS0 $$ for 15% off with a minimum purchase of $25 at ballandbeatshop.com. And now, back to the show.
Hi, welcome back to the Ball N Beatz Podcast. We got Christian Demo here with us. How are you?
Doing great, guys. Glad to finally be in video. I'm excited.
There we go. All right, now for the music and entertainment section. I want to start off with Reba's national anthem. I didn't think too much of it, but I think that she did better than what we originally thought that she was going to do. But every year and every time we watch the Super Bowl, it gets worse. And I just want to know what your guys' thoughts are on it.
I mean, I wouldn't have called it the worst one I've seen. It definitely wasn't that good either.
If you were criticizing the national anthem, I'd like you to go out there and sing in front of all of America. 2K Dilly, but warm up the pipes because you're on for next year.
Okay, look, I'm just saying that Reba's national anthem was not that great. And she kind of made it like embarrassing for herself. Anyway,
Logan, embarrassing.
Well, I gotta say this about that. She was about to nail the under for all you bettors at home. She was zooming through that national anthem performance, and then all of a sudden you get to the end, and then you hear Brave, and then all of a sudden it comes back, Brave again, and then the over under for all you bettors was 90.5 seconds. She got to 94. So, because of that, she said Brave twice. And because of that, a lot of people lost out on a lot of money.
I don't know about adding lyrics into the national anthem. It's kind of a sacred song for the country. And adding lyrics, that's a little bit questionable to me. If I'm a bettor and I bet that under, I'm furious.
I'd be furious because I thought I still would have won. She said an extra word for no reason at all. So that's okay though. That's right.
Hey, anything tops Fergie's national anthem.
It's iconic though.
No, that's the best one of all time.
Yeah.
No way.
At the NBA All-Star game, I want her at every national anthem.
Me too.
Fergie needs to do all of them.
All right. So now for the real performance, okay? Usher. So I'm gonna be honest. Usher started off kind of slow. For other people that were watching it, I felt like, nobody was going to know any of his songs. It got better to where he started playing Oh My God with Will I Am. But I just feel like as he went on to the end, it was really just more of Lil Jon's show more than Usher's.
kind of turned into that a little bit.
Yeah, because then the last song was Get Low, and they just played like three Lil Jon songs.
But did you see that mosh pit? That was awesome.
No, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, Usher could have done better, and I felt like I was disappointed.
I wasn't disappointed per se. I just kind of expected more. Because the thing we get out of Usher is the dancing and stuff, right? And that's what I expected. But I also did, to your point, also expect it to be more of his performance, which is why I was surprised that he would even have guests, because Usher by himself doesn't need guests.
Oh, yeah.
That's all right. I predicted almost all the guests correct on the last episode. I didn't expect, Jermaine Dupri to be a hype man or her on the guitarist. Yeah. But I did say Alicia Keys would come out with My Boo. Thank you for the $5, Dilly. I appreciate it. And I mean, Lil Jon and Ludacris, yeah, I mean, that had to be a part of the performance. And I mean, I have a little bit of a nugget about that song anyway.
Okay.
So if you actually listen to Ludacris's part in the song, it's actually a completely different beat, and it has a whole storyline behind it. If you don't know that part, it's Petey Pablo's Freak-a-Leak. I don't know if you guys know that song.
I do know that song.
You know that song? That's actually that beat. But originally, that was supposed to be the beat for Yeah, because Lil Jon gave that beat to Usher. Little did he know that Jive Records already gave it to Petey Pablo to use for his song. And so that song, those songs together, they have a huge history with each other. And I think you said, I believe Ludacris actually kind of talked about that, or Usher. Someone talked about that recently as well before, but I had noticed it on my own watching that. But back on that performance, I believe that when Lil Jon came out for Turn Down For What, it really changed the attitude of that whole halftime show. It's not the worst, it's not the best. Last 2 years topped that. But I have seen worse. This was definitely better than The Weeknd's. No offense to you, The Weeknd.
Oh, no, yeah.
I mean, when it comes to The Weeknd's halftime performance, again, no offense, but almost anything is better.
Yeah, I have to agree with Alan. I think when it comes to Usher, you had to expect a lot of choreography and a lot of background dancers, and I think that aspect of the show was where it shined most. I think you're right, it started off a little rocky, but I do think that as the guests started to arrive, you guys mentioned Alicia Keys, and that piano, by the way, really, really cool.
Yes.
But as Alicia Keys and the other guests came on, I think that it became more of a really entertaining show.
I don't know, that voice crack though in the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, these are live performance. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
The NFL edited it out on
its
YouTube video.
I saw that. No, I mean, if I was Swizz Beatz though, who's married to Alicia Keys,
I'd be worried.
I wouldn't be able to handle myself, dude. After watching that, I was like, what? They're like groping each other, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, they
and
did.
Like, okay, it's cool. And he gave his 2 cents about it, like 2 days later, saying that it's just two legends, basically just making history, that they made history back then too. So they're just reenacting what they did in the video. I'm like, yeah, that's cool and all, but like both of you guys are married,
right,
to other people. So like,
right,
why do that on stage? But yeah, I'm.
That's Usher being
not
Usher.
Celebrity,
if you know Usher, you got to watch out. Make sure your woman is not in attendance. That's for sure. Yeah. Keke Palmer, we just saw that a couple months ago.
Yes.
I'm just saying. I mean, Alicia Keys. Shout out to Alicia Keys, one of the best in the business for sure. And I'm just glad I got that one right.
There you go.
Thank you. I'm gonna just keep bragging.
You're welcome. Well, did you guys believe that like Usher was, did he live up to the hype?
I think it was as expected.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
I think that Usher brought the entertainment as well as the songs. I think the halftime performance would have been incredible if I knew like all the songs, but he played a few of the deep cuts that not a lot of people knew, and I think that's where it faltered.
Gotcha. Well,
sorry, real quick. But I just wish that maybe he, like we said a little bit earlier, started out maybe a little bit different with a different song choice. Maybe start out with "Oh My God," or you start out with a song he didn't even do. He didn't even do "DJ Got Us Falling in Love." I thought that would have been a great song for this performance. But he kind of went back to that R&B,
the thing that we know him for.
The thing that we really know him for, and if you really sit back and look at it, it's still like a B to B minus performance, really, at the end of the day. Because I mean, it wasn't bad, wasn't great.
Yeah, I agree.
I
But,
call it average.
Average?
Yeah.
No, it was above average.
Okay, I'm just saying it's one of those where you can be like, yes, it was a good halftime performance, but then obviously you can have people who are like me. It's like it was good. Could it have been better?
Maybe it
Yes.
won't be the most
But
memorable.
It won't be. It's not. Obviously, again, it's not the worst.
Yeah.
No, it's the Super Bowl stage is pretty nerve-wracking. So if you're gonna do it great, do it right.
Do it right, but if you got to do it, make sure you have towels available. That's all. I'm saying.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
My bro was
but-
sweaty.
Over under calories burned
2,800.
at least.
But who do you guys think should be the next halftime performer? I'm gonna go here and say it first. You want a real performer? Do Pitbull, because Pitbull. If you're gonna go into a different genre, because they already did rap, they already did R&B. You gotta go in a different genre. Go pop, and even though he's still a rapper, he's more of a pop artist.
Yeah.
So like a pop artist rapper. So I would say give it a Pitbull and make him have like the best halftime performer. I think he would knock the stage off.
The one that I would be hopeful for, but I know because of the halftime show rules, it can't happen. But because it's going to be in New Orleans next year, I would have picked Bruno Mars to do it. I think because they did it at the wrong time. This Bruno Mars now that we have currently, he would have done a way better job. And I loved his halftime performance when he did it last time.
I mean, yeah, but like he's already done it twice.
Well, okay,
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
already been a
count.
feature
I
in
don't
them.
call it a feat.
He's already led once, so it can't happen.
We've
He
seen
did
enough
it.
Bruno.
We have seen.
I love Bruno, but we've seen enough Bruno.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say about Bruno. For me,
That sounds like hate.
no hate. No hate. I think Bruno's one of the best ever. But for me, I think we've been going R&B, like rap route lately. I think we need to get back into the pop. Like, people need to know the songs, like all of them. Who better than a rising star right now on top of the world, Dua Lipa?
Honestly,
Hey,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind
That's not
it.
bad.
I agree.
Give me Dua Lipa at the halftime show. Amazing performer, great dancer. Has hits beyond most people today. I think that if you get Dua Lipa on that stage, the crowd will go wild.
I mean, that's a good choice, Christian. For me, I like to try and base it off location a little bit for cultural reasons and how it would fit the city. So, I mean, you could say a guy like Lil Wayne, even though that's the rap
would be
route.
awesome.
I feel like that'd be an amazing one. This one, it actually doesn't even match the city for New Orleans, but I feel like at some point, at least maybe in the next couple years, I feel like this artist should headline a halftime show. That'd be Adele. I know what you guys think.
Absolutely.
I know
No
what you
way.
two think. But I think what Adele, her catalog is, I think she'd be a great addition.
I agree.
Well, so okay, now I'm gonna pivot over to Kanye's end. All right, so for Kanye, people thought that he was kicked out of the Super Bowl and didn't see him in his box anymore. Well, speculations weren't true, and he went over to YG's box, basically to hang out with him, and he wanted him to meet his wife, and his wife has never been to a football game, so I thought people took it out of context, and Kanye was just having a great time. Now, I'm talking about the controversy behind Kanye, okay? His actions recently with Taylor Swift fans was not great. He was basically, so he was addressing and still apologizing for his anti-Semitic sayings. But now that Taylor Swift fans are trying to keep him away from the #1 spot on the Billboard, they're going to try to kill his second Vultures album, which I thought Vultures was not great. Let me tell you that.
I did not.
No way.
I agree with David. I'm sorry. I tried. I listened to it and I couldn't.
you?
Yes, I did.
Did you listen?
The whole thing. I didn't skip anything. I listened to the whole thing.
Listen, with any Kanye project, you're gonna have controversy. You're gonna have mixed opinions. But for me, this Vultures album absolutely surmounted my expectations. I think this album it is a mixed bag, but there's a lot more good than bad in it. The collaboration between Kanye and Ty Dolla $ign,
Yeah.
I think it's a good mix. I do think that Kanye could have chosen a different artist or just not had a collab. You maybe have Ty Dolla $ign on a few of the tracks rather than all of them. I think a few of the hooks got a little bit repetitive.
Yeah.
But overall, I think that this is a great album, and if we're getting 2 more of these, sign me up.
Well, I heard Lil Wayne is going to be on that next album, so it's supposed to be a fun album, I heard. But I also think that, is he really going to drop that second album?
Drop this one.
He dropped this one.
He dropped this one
that
late.
I mean, you get pushbacks, you get not drop dates, but we get him eventually.
Right. Well, do you guys believe that Kanye should be left alone? Like how Taylor Swift fans kept trying to keep him away from the #1 spot. Like, do you think that he should be just left alone, or like
I
what?
mean, I would have to say, really, with a controversial figure that Kanye is, he's going to get clapped back regardless of whoever it is because of some of the things he does have to say. So I would say if someone does it, it's deserved. I mean, I'm not saying, I think it's deserved, I would say, for Kanye because of the polarizing figure that he is. For my takes real quick on the album, I'm kind of in the middle between you two opinion and Christian. I thought there was some decent tracks on the album. I thought there was also a lot of bad. There was pretty much all in between. It was either really good or really bad. I thought it was going to be worse than it was. So I will give him that. I'll give him probably about a 5.5 out of 10 if I had to rate it. 5.5, maybe low 6.
Anthony Fantano gave him unreviewable.
I know,
trash.
he gave it unreviewable.
Anthony Fantano, you're not a real music.
Whoa.
Your opinion
First
isn't
video
valid.
episode, we're already starting beef with
That's
Anthony
crazy.
Fantano.
No,
That's what we
well,
love
a pivot away from the Kanye conversation because it's getting a little out of hand over here. I'm gonna say Drake. Drake is coming back after saying that he was taking a break. Now, what really is taking a break?
For Drake, it's absolutely nothing.
No.
I mean, we just see.
Yeah, like
Dude's gonna pump out an album in like 2 months.
Yeah, I believe it, or at least a single.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What's the point of saying you're gonna take a break and then like you come back and say, "Oh, hey guys, I'm dropping something like really soon." Like, what were you doing that whole time of break? Nothing. You were still recording music.
Oh,
Exactly.
You know what? Drake is the one guy who doesn't understand what a break is when it comes to the music scene.
Is that a bad thing?
That's not a bad thing at all. I sometimes think for certain artists it is, because certain artists, they kind of need that break to really try and perfect that album, that project, or whatever. With Drake, I mean, he's just one of those guys that he can just pump it out.
It wasn't long enough though.
Wasn't long enough? No. It wasn't even long. What are you talking about? It was like a couple
You're
weeks.
tripping there. From Kanye, one of my favorites, to Drake, to one of the GOATs.
Oh my gosh.
Drake, he can make as much music as he likes. I will consume it in copious amounts.
Hey, I'm
he
not
can make a
hating.
50-track long album.
Oh my god.
No, yeah,
if
I
he
agree.
likes, I'll eat it up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just thinking that he should have gotten more time to himself at least, so that he could make a better album. But like, do you think? So he already had Yeet on his album, so now Yeet is gonna come out with a album actually on Friday night.
I'm not ready.
Oh, we are
I'm ready.
feasting.
It's gonna be 2093, the year 2093. And I think Drake is going to be on
You
the
see
album
what Logan-
because he just came back.
You see what Logan's doing?
It's
That's how
great.
I
It's
feel
great
about it.
marketing.
That's how I
You're
feel about
lost,
it.
Logan. You are absolutely lost. If you are not excited for this Yeet album, I don't know what to tell you. This is going to be one of the best albums of the year. Vultures.
Okay,
Vultures.
you're wild now, bro.
We already got Vultures with this album of the year. We already got a great 21 album.
All right, then,
2024 is shaping up to be one of the best years for us.
No.
21's album was trash.
Hey, yo,
Oh
okay.
my God.
Hold on. Yeet. I'm sorry. I literally, y'all can talk about Yeet. I just
Don't
can't
look
right
at
now.
me. I'm
We
not gonna
actually
talk
can't.
about
We're
him.
not gonna talk about Yeet. I'm sorry.
It's your podcast.
He don't deserve a platform.
Okay.
Oh, and Polo G does though.
Yes,
Speaking
he
of
does.
Polo G,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, speaking
Hey,
of-
we can agree on Polo G.
We can agree on Polo G. That's my guy.
That's my guy.
not bad, baby.
No. Definitely. That's not. Never mind. It's 2024. She could be a guy now, but let's move on.
Technically, the Yeet's 2093. So
Polo's dropping, right?
Polo is dropping.
Polo is dropping with
Finally.
Saris and Ferraris.
I'm so ready.
Another banger of an album. Guys, come on.
Hood Poet?
2024?
You think you
Hood
do
Poet
you
is
think
coming out. Whenever. It better come out. I have been starving for this album. so bad. Sorries and Ferraris, you know, it's going to be like the 6th single in the last 2 years. You know, no sign of an album. I mean, we talked about it a little bit back in September of last year when he got arrested the week before his album was supposed to drop, and then they had to push it back. You know, there's a rumored date for it to be again in the summertime, I believe in August, last I had heard, but I just need new Polo, man. I'm so ready for tomorrow.
Us Polo fans have been starving for years. It's time for him to deliver us a great album.
I'm ready for All the Piano.
All the Piano G? Well, that's all right.
Bring it on.
I can't wait.
Can't wait. Well, that's all right, because that's going to wrap up our music and entertainment segment here. But when we come back, a fan favorite returns. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Ball N Beatz Podcast, and you're watching it as well.
All of you watching and listening right now, stop what you're doing, because I need to tell you something serious. Do you want some of the best merchandise in the game? Do you want to help support a company you know you can count on? Well, if that's the case, you need to go to ballandbeatzshop.com and buy some of the best merchandise in the game. Yes, I know Logan's repeated himself a ton of times, and I know if he's excited and I'm excited, you should be too. You might be wondering what products we have. Well, I've got you covered. We have hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeves, crew necks and socks, to pints and mugs for your booze and coffee, to warm blankets to cuddle with your loved ones on a cold night, and more at our store. While you all pause the video right now to go do that, our regularly scheduled programming will be back. Y'all back now? Good. Let's get back to it. And welcome back to the Ball N Beatz Podcast. We're returning a segment that we haven't done in a while, gentlemen. It is the return of the Michigan mid-off between our two beloved Michigan fans who know nothing about Michigan football.
It really is something special, isn't it? Here?
It is very,
man,
very special.
You know what? We won a national championship this year, so I'll take it. You know, let us be happy.
It took you forever. And now your team's going to suck next year.
No,
All right.
we're really
The real
not.
question is,
You
what
know
year did you win that national championship in?
You know what? Forget these Ohio State fans, man.
All right, so let's get into the rules for anybody that doesn't know. So it's pretty simple. I ask both Alan and Christian a question about Michigan football. They have 30 seconds to answer it, and for this one, they will be putting up fingers for how many.
Okay.
So basically, they get 30 seconds to answer a question. It's as simple as that, and we will laugh because they will get this wrong.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks for the confidence. I love my friends.
Well, seeing as you guys have gotten a lot of them wrong,
Just for the record, I led the Michigan mid-off by like
a
3
point.
points.
No, it was a point.
No,
It was not
I had a big
3.
lead at one point. But
It was more like
Now that we're in this format, we reset.
we're
All right.
resetting it, and we're returning
You know,
a fan
Christian,
favorite.
if I was
good
sitting
luck.
next to you, yeah, good
All
luck.
right. Yeah, you guys are going to need it. All right. So, for the first Michigan mid-off, as the video cast, the question is, how many Michigan coaches have left Michigan after their national championship this year? It can be coaches / coordinators. How many?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
I got my
While they're
answer.
thinking about
I
it.
got my answer.
you got your answer.
You got your answer? Already?
Okay, well, I don't. Hang on.
Oh.
Well, so
We got
while
a timer
Christian's
here?
thinking, just remember, Michigan, you know, Jim Harbaugh's now at the Chargers. You got to remember that. And you also got to remember, they are not going to be as good next year. That's all we got to say.
I don't know what you guys are.
Can't wait for the beatdown in Columbus next year.
Have you seen our new defensive coordinator? I think it's going to be
Wait,
a lot
Marcos.
closer
That
than what
Santa Claus?
you guys are acting like we got the.
All right. Do you have your answer?
I suppose so.
Okay, so it's been 30 seconds. All right. So, Alan, how many?
I'm a confident 3 coaches.
That's not the best way to do it because I could just say 3 as well, which I will. The answer is 3.
Once again, it's the reason why it's the Michigan mid-off because they know nothing about Michigan football, and a bunch of Buckeye fans know more about their sorry program.
To be fair, you looked up the question earlier, so of course you would know
What's
the
the correct answer? What's
the correct answer is 5.
That's what I said. Check the tape. Check the tape.
So, you got Jim Harbaugh, their head
Yes.
coach.
No way.
You got Jay Harbaugh, an assistant coach.
Yapper.
You got Jesse Minter, Steve Klinksdale, and you have Ben Herbert.
No names. Who?
Well, their strength and conditioning coach was Ben Herbert. And Michigan fans were very, very upset. But that's why it's called the Michigan mid-off, because these fans know nothing about their sorry football program.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
0-0.
Coming back here to the Ball N Beatz Podcast, we're going to the National Basketball Association. We'll be right back. Well.
These
meet
guys
again.
suck at this, man.
As if you guys didn't know about the Ball N Beatz shop enough, I'm here to tell you more. We want to thank Toledo star men's basketball player Dante Maddox Jr. for being another brand ambassador for the Ball N Beatz podcast. Dante makes it rain threes on the court, and you can too, while wearing some B&B across your chest. You can use Dante's custom discount code Dante21 for 21% off your entire order at ballandbeatsshop.com. Do I need to remind you again about getting some Ball N Beatz merch? Well, I hope not. But back to the show. Let's move. Welcome to our NBA talk. We have Aaron joining us today. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. How you guys been doing today?
Good.
Doing
Been doing
fantastic.
really-
Great day.
Really great. Since you are here, you are the Cavs fan here. And that's the team who's probably been the hottest in the Eastern Conference recently.
Yes.
That's where I think I want to start.
Still not in first place.
Still not in first place. They are not. They're in second. However, 18 of their last 20 games they have won. What has been the reason for them to be so successful?
So as you mentioned, it has been 18 of the last 20 games they have won. What I kind of contribute to that is the fact we won like two lineups basically. We have Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen play their own pick and roll game with three shooters, and then you have Darius Garland and Evan Mobley will play a pick and roll game and then have three shooters on the court as well. Like we still play the normal five-man starting lineup with two bigs, Garland, Mitchell, and Max Strus, but we've been incorporating a lot more of that just Mitchell and Allen and just Mitchell and Garland. I mean, Mobley and Garland, and I think it's been working wonders for the Cavs.
It really has. And speaking of Donovan Mitchell, you're talking about a guy who's averaging over 28 points a game right now. He is absolutely balling. And if you look right now at the MVP rankings that they released recently, they have him at 9th on the list.
That's great.
They do, yeah.
9th. They have
Even I think that's crazy.
They have DeMontis Sabonis
Ahead of him.
ahead of Donovan Mitchell, ahead of
Kevin Durant and Anthony Davis.
Kevin
as well.
Durant's also ahead of him,
Kevin
and so is
Durant.
AD. Yep.
AD, all ahead of him.
Along with Giannis and, Nikola Jokic, of course.
Yeah, some of those I guess you can understand.
I mean,
but
Shay's in second.
Shay's
That makes
You could-
that,
you could
that,
argue-
that
you could
one
argue
I will
first.
Shay's the
be
lifeblood
fine
of
with.
that
Yes.
Thunder team, but
I want to get your take because I believe Donovan Mitchell should be in that finalist ranking area.
Yes.
at least top 5.
Yes, he should be.
I do
agree.
believe he should be top 5. If I did have to make a vote for MVP today, right now, halfway through the season, it would be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander actually for the Thunder. And I would probably put Donovan Mitchell at 3rd behind Jason Tatum. But I would definitely still have him in the top 3 because 18 out of 20, you're second right now in the East. And the only team that's been better than the Cavs in the East is the Celtics.
Yeah, and those are obviously the two best teams in the East. They are the top 2. And I think they are just overall playing better in general than everybody because of the fact that Boston, they have the talent. They have Jason Tatum. They have Jaylen Brown. Kristaps Porzingis has been a really nice addition
He
to
has
that
been.
team. And then Cleveland, I will say this, Max Strus has been a very solid addition to that Cavs to be a guy that comes off the bench. And then you have Darius Garland, who is arguably, he's my favorite point guard. Just with the way he moves with the ball, the way he drives the basket. And then Donovan Mitchell. You can't say
Donovan
much more than
Mitchell's so
he's
fun,
playing
yeah.
like an MVP. Like we talked about, he is an MVP favorite in my opinion, and I don't know why he's not top 5. Makes no sense.
He should be. But one team that I do want to get into is the Milwaukee Bucks. What is going on with them?
Doc Rivers is what's going on. And I will say this. I was the biggest fan of Damian Lillard going to the Milwaukee Bucks. I know our good friend over here, Logan, was not because his Miami Heat did not get him.
Don't even get me started, man.
I will say
Don't
this.
even get me started.
Giannis and Dame have not worked out in the way we thought they were. They are two ball-dominant guard and forward. And it reminds me of Houston when they had, and I know it's different positions and stuff, but I think it's going to be the same result. It was Russell Westbrook and James Harden.
Yeah.
Two ball-dominant guards, and yeah, you have Giannis who can do literally anything. He's a forward. He's Mr. Duncan Run Man. But
You're not wrong.
Really?
Tell us
Do you
how
ever
you
see
really
him shoot?
feel.
You just see him dunk the ball. Exactly.
You're not wrong.
Fair enough.
So, but I think that because obviously they've had so much turmoil with, they've had with Doc Rivers being hired, and I think that he just is not a fit for this team. And I think that they put all their chips in for Damian Lillard, and it just not has worked out for them at all.
Yeah, no, it hasn't worked out. And I'll tell you, Damian Lillard, I still love you. I just want you to know that.
He's not going to Miami.
You still have a place in my heart down in South Beach. But back on Milwaukee, why did they ever fire Adrian Griffin in the first place? They were 33-10 when they let this man go.
You know,
I think it was a team thing. I think the morale with the team was not great, but it doesn't make sense because they're 23 games above 500.
Yeah.
They're one of the top teams in the East. Like, you look at coaches like Darvin Ham who have just gotten, no one likes him on the Lakers. But the Lakers is a hard place to be coached because you got LeBron and AD on there.
Yeah.
But with the Bucks, I think that with them firing their coach midway during the season when they were a fantastic basketball team, they've been for years with Giannis, I think it just caused turmoil. I think they're 1-6, something like that.
2-4, 2-5 maybe. I think
they're like around that. They've been losing ever since they got Doc Rivers to be their head coach, and it has been a complete disaster with him. And they're going to be a first-round exit. This Bucks team, unless they figure it out after the All-Star break and get things going, they're going to be a first-round exit.
Probably so. I want to pivot to the Western Conference because this Western Conference right now is stacked with really good basketball. You're talking about 10 teams over 500 right now at this point in the season. I want to know, who do you guys believe should be the favorite right now as it stands?
I generally believe to most, and I know this is going to sound biased because I am a Thunder fan, but I do think you have to give it to the Thunder. This team has blown people's expectations out of the water. This team, if you think about it, at the beginning of the season, this is like a 6th, 5th seed team maybe. But come on, they've been trading first place with the Timberwolves, and I know everyone's going to say the Nuggets. And Spencer, you can do that all you want. You're a Pistons fan, so you don't have any room to talk.
They're not in the Western Conference, so we don't have to talk about them.
Exactly,
Right.
but I'm just saying, everyone's going to pick the Nuggets, everyone's going to pick the Clippers, everyone's going to pick the Timberwolves, but you have to give it up to this Thunder team. They're a young, hungry squad, and actually, funny enough, we faced the Clippers coming out of the All-Star break, so.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Thunder are way on track. They're going to be a very good team for years to come. I just can't go against Denver. I can't go up against Nikola Jokic.
The team that's
Jamal
sitting
Murray.
4th in the conference right now?
The team that won the NBA Finals last year has returned nearly everybody and has the experience, unlike what Oklahoma City has. OKC doesn't have an experience. They're running a daycare down there.
And we still beat the Nuggets.
Yeah,
we
did
beat.
in the regular season. The playoffs is a different monster.
Okay. So
and I get it. The Thunder are playing good. I just have to trust a team that's more experienced. That's all.
So you're saying the Nuggets, when it hits the playoffs, they'll beat the Clippers, they'll beat the Timberwolves, they'll beat the Thunder, and they'll be NBA
The Clippers
champions.
always choke. I mean, when do they not choke?
That is true.
The Clippers always choke. The Timberwolves, so I think the T-Wolves are a very good team, but I see them. I just don't see anybody beating this Denver team because Jokic doesn't care. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about your family, but he cares about winning basketball games.
He cares about his horses a lot.
And then he cares about his horses.
Don't forget his
back
horses.
in Serbia. Yeah, exactly. But what do you think?
So if I have to pick a favorite right now, I actually would go the Clippers right now. Last night they were playing the Warriors. I'm not gonna lie, there was no reason why they should have won that game.
No.
Steph Curry dropped, I think, 41 points. There was at Chase Center, actually, that's what it's called.
Yep.
Almost at Oracle, but
Better off anyway.
Oracle is so much better.
Oh, so it was. But there was no reason why they won that game. But that fourth quarter, they just dominated their size, physicality. It just kind of overran the Warriors, and they were able to get back the lead, and they won the game. And I think the Clippers with Ty Lue, they can be I think they could be the favorite this year. Kawhi Leonard's been healthy. Paul George has been healthy. They're sitting, I think, at 36-17 right now as well. So I think you got to watch out for the Clippers this year.
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George have been a dominant duo when they're healthy. Problem is they have never been healthy. That's why this Clippers team hasn't won anything past the second round. But I think it could change this year. This Clippers team is very, very deadly when it comes to the postseason.
Yeah. As a person who was fully against the Clippers this season, to start the year, I said they weren't even going to make the playoffs. And specifically after the trade for James Harden, and boy was I wrong. And I'm doing a full 180 on them because I do think they're the favorite as well. I agree with Aaron. They are just playing outstanding basketball. I never thought James Harden, Paul George, and then Russell Westbrook off the bench, that would work. I've been stunned. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And they have been playing the best, I think, out of the West. I mean, Denver, you can never count out Jokic and them, but if there's two, I would have to say the Clippers at 1 and then Nuggets 2.
Yeah, no, the Clippers are going to be very, very good. And it's the thing that I think about is the Clippers have always been about going to get big names. Like they've gotten Kawhi, they've gotten Paul George, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and now it is finally gelled. And I think that's the biggest difference in this team.
Yeah. And, well, that's going to wrap up our NBA talk here. Last segment of the show coming up here, and boy, is it a good one. Christian will be joining us for that. We'll be back here at the Ball N Beatz Podcast. What did I tell y'all at home? Still at this point in the episode, and you still haven't visited ballandbeatzshop.com? Well, good thing I have another discount code for you. Shout out to the best videographer and photographer in the game. You may know him as WTT Productions on social media or Will Turner in person, but here at the Ball N Beatz Podcast, he's Willie T. And you know what you can do for Willie T? You can use his custom discount code at ballandbeatzshop.com. You can use his code WillieT4 for 30% off all t-shirts at the Ball N Beatz shop. Are you guys happy now? I'm finally gone for the day. But just visit the Ball N Beatz shop, ballandbeatzshop.com. That's all we ask for. Back to the action. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Ball N Beatz Podcast. This is the last segment of the episode, and this has to deal with some fantasy football. Aaron, you have the fantasy board for the winner of the Ball N Beatz Fantasy League, Spencer.
Thank you.
Oh, not you.
Congratulations,
not you,
buddy.
Not you, Christian.
Spencer, I'm going to give you one quick question. How does it feel to have won the first ever Ball N Beatz fantasy football?
You know, it took a lot of scouting. It took a lot to get here. It took a lot of trades. Took a lot of mental game just to get to this spot. And, you know, I just got to thank everybody, you know, on my team, my coaches, you know, all the general manager upstairs, the owner. I got to thank everybody because I couldn't be in this spot without them. So thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you for the trophy.
I have a quick question, Spencer. Why do we have a Popeyes box
What is this?
sitting in between you and Christian?
Oh, let me tell you all about it. So, my friend Christian here did not finish first, second, third, or fourth through ninth. He finished last.
What?
So, you get to eat some Popeyes biscuits.
Ooh.
Wow.
That we made especially dry for you.
Those look really good.
Oh, do they? There's no honey.
Can I only eat one of them?
Oh,
You have to eat
no,
every
no.
single one in that box,
You
my
have
friend.
to eat every single one with no water and no honey or no nothing.
Per rules, if you cannot, you do owe Spencer dinner tonight.
Just for the record, Popeyes is not a sponsor of the Ball N Beatz Podcast. However, if you would like to be, you guys know where to reach out.
So what are we doing here? Is there a timer? Am I just diving right in?
Oh, you're diving in.
You're just diving in?
You
You
are
just gotta start
diving
eating.
in, and you got to start eating
Well,
those biscuits.
good thing I prepared for this. All I've had was 2 slices of toast today. My stomach is absolutely rumbling. I'm ready for this, and I'm going to conquer these biscuits, whether it's the last thing I do.
Nothing but carbohydrates today, I guess. For
Note to everybody out there, do not finish last. Finish first instead. It's
Technically, I didn't finish last. The rules were
You
unclear.
finished last.
You finished last.
You lost to the last place person.
All right.
You finished
All right.
last.
Shall
Let's
we?
see. Shall
Yes,
oh,
let's do it.
Let's
Give
dive in.
Bon
Give me a
appetit.
countdown.
All right. Let's go from 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Eat up.
Go.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
I hope you guys microwave those on high for minutes and
Hold on.
minutes.
No, we
on
didn't.
end.
Real quick, Christian. I just want to know,
serious?
are they dry enough?
These might be the driest biscuits I've ever had. There's no way I'm doing this. There's no way.
Hey, can you get
Don't
through
finish
one?
last.
Yeah.
Keep going. Come
No
on.
water?
No water. Keep
No
going.
water, no honey, no butter.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
Well, it better happen because you finished last.
Hey,
Hey, just for the record, like we said, if you don't eat all of those, you owe Spencer dinner tonight.
How long do you guys got?
How long?
I mean,
At least a second bite.
Yeah.
Not till about 7 o'clock. So.
I mean,
At least on the third biscuit.
this is
At
one of
least
the
till the
most.
third one. Yeah.
This is the most impossible challenge anyone could ever
hey,
do.
we thought about some other ones.
Hey, it's all right though.
He still has 4.5 biscuits to go, ladies and gentlemen.
You tap out?
I'm telling you,
even close
we
to
tried for them to be burnt, at Popeyes. We tried to tell them to burn them, but the thing is, they literally wouldn't let us.
I haven't swallowed any. Oh my God.
Eat it, don't just start getting all crumbs all over.
Angus Christian.
I'm a big guy. You guys can see that. I can put food down. But
And out, apparently.
He's spitting on some
But listen,
Keep spitting the
but
crumbs.
listen. Until you attempt this, there's
Bro,
nothing like it.
have you swallowed it yet?
No!
You want me to eat one with you?
Does that disqualify me?
Yes.
No,
it would.
no.
It would.
All right, fine. Yeah, that'll disqualify.
Oh, then never mind. No.
I can eat all
Spencer,
four
I
of these.
I will say when I ate,
Spencer, I think you're getting dinner tonight.
I did eat one earlier, and I gotta say it was probably the most moist biscuit I had ever eaten from
All
Popeyes.
right, first swallow down.
Yes.
Oh,
He did it. He did one biscuit.
one
He still
biscuit.
got 4 to go.
One biscuit. He didn't know. He's got one biscuit. He's got 11 more to go.
One.
It's
We
funny.
actually have another pack down here.
Yeah, we
You
actually
didn't know
bought
it's a 12
12.
pack.
Uh-oh.
It's right here, actually.
He's eating.
It's down here. You want me to get it? Well, I won't grab it until you finish that box, though.
I know that. Hold on.
See this?
See, you could have had that.
You could have had a trophy.
The thing is, all your players got injured throughout the season, and you didn't bother, to pick up on the bench and, where it left off.
Oh my
And so
God.
this is the punishment.
This-
is the punishment. However,
If you just would have won this, you wouldn't have had to eat the biscuits. Or just not finish last.
I completely underestimated how hard this would be. This is unreal.
That was the point.
Say it, don't spray it.
What, Spencer? What?
Huh?
so the thing is, like I said, the worst part about this is we literally have a whole 6-pack still waiting for him, because that's the surprise. He
Spencer,
thought it was supposed to be
you
5. It's
lost
actually
your
12.
money.
Oh man, this
Guys,
water.
I'll tell you this. I
Cheers,
can
boy.
complete this.
Yeah, cheers.
I can complete this. If you give me
What you get in
enough
the Ball N
time.
Beatz shop?
If you give me enough time, I will complete this. I know
We don't win.
I know we're under time constraints, but that's your problem, not mine.
Yeah, I remember we had a time limit of 5 minutes when we first made it.
5 minutes?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it
we did.
was for 6 biscuits.
Oh yeah, that's the best part. After you're done, you can't drink water for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all right though. Yeah, you thought you were done. You thought you'd be done after that box.
You want to feel what it's like to be a winner?
I didn't lose. I did not lose.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, you did.
Biscuit
All right,
number,
number 2.
It's funny because
that's
we all.
number 2?
Shout out CD Lamb. Shout out Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Shout out to Avery,
Brees
who almost
Hall.
had
Ross
that.
St. Brown, the problem is I shouldn't have never
He
traded
traded
you.
me Amon-Ra St. Brown.
It's-
Thank you again for contributing to my
You
championship.
shouldn't have
The
declined
parade will be next weekend, so everybody can be on campus for it. We'll have a whole parade and everything.
The whole parade?
Yep.
The whole parade? And that's all right. Well, while Christian finishes his biscuits, history has been made today. We want to thank you all for being a part of this journey, but the journey is just starting. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on the push notification bell for when new episodes drop. Go follow us on our socials down below and keep on rocking. From everyone behind the scenes to behind this desk, we thank you. That's a wrap on episode 95 of the Ball N Beatz Podcast. Spencer, end us off as you always do.
Spread it all. Spread it everywhere. And don't be Christian.
I will complete this challenge. Stay tuned. The after show is coming right after this.
Loser. Hey, that's all right. We'll catch y'all next week. Take
See
care,
you guys.
everybody. We're signing off.
Thank you.